I'm so naughty. If you'd like to reply to anything in this video, then feel free to send me a BBM. Oh, slightly awkward. Interesting, because people don't normally ask me to talk about certain topics, but this is one that has been suggested to me, and I thought, well, it's kind of important, so why not? So the issue is to do with strokes, and not of the sexual nature either. Pardon me. Now, one of the main things that a lot of health companies are trying to combat at the moment is for people to actually know the early stages of what a stroke looks like, and how you can actually test yourself to see if the person that you're with is actually having a stroke. There's quite a few little signs which you can look for, and if you see any of them signs, there are 3 simple things which you can ask that person to do. That will either confirm to you if that person is having a stroke, or is at least showing the signs of having a stroke. The other little important thing to say about this is that a person having a stroke is a very serious issue. Strokes do continually kill thousands upon thousands of people, and while yes, a lot of them, because of early detection, do survive, it is still a killing thing. So if you're going to watch this and think, actually this is really, really boring, I don't want to watch this, it might help you to do so, because at one point in the future it might save someone's life. Okay, so the things to look for when a person is having a stroke or showing the early onset of a stroke. We all know that it affects at least one side of the body, and that can be that maybe their face is starting to sink on one side. So you might notice that there's sort of sagging, or actually have a look around the mouth, because one side of the mouth might be further down than the other side. Of course, with that goes impaired speech. Listen out for a person when they're talking. You might hear that there's a slight difference in the way that they're pronouncing the letters. Listen for things, or listen for letters that they have to use their tongue to pronounce. One of the other things which is a really strong sign of a person having a stroke is actually the way that they walk. So if you think a person is having a stroke, ask them to walk. While the person's having a walk, have a little look at how they're walking. Are they slightly dragging one leg behind? Are they having difficulty walking? Are they having to prop themselves up? These are all really good signs to look for. Okay, so the actual tests. If a person in front of you think is having a stroke, ask them to do a few little quick things. Remember that timing is really, really important here, so get these tests done as soon as possible. Okay, so first test is ask the person very simply to hold their arms out like that. Because a stroke will normally affect one side of a person, they might have difficulty getting one arm up, while the other one will go up fine. So if that is happening, that's kind of a bit of a sign for you to look for. The next sign is to ask a person to speak. Ask them to do one sentence, and ask them just to say that sentence. It can be something as simple as, "What a sunny day it is today." And listen for the way that they pronounce certain letters of that. Have a look for the way that they're actually talking about it. Like I said before, is it that one part of the mouth is sliding down? The most important thing to look for, and possibly the thing that could give it away, is to ask the person to stick the tongue out. While it may sound completely ridiculous and make you giggle, is that person's tongue going over to one side of the mouth? Are there little signs in it, like little movements that they're doing, which they wouldn't normally do when they stuck their tongue out? Of course, that is presuming that every friend of yours actually sticks their tongue out. So if a person is showing any of them signs or is having difficulty doing any of them tests, it is really important that as soon as you can, you phone the emergency services. So know which country you're in and what number it is. So in America, it's 911. Over here in the UK, it's 999. So I hope that this little bit of advice has come in handy for you. And just remember, it is only a little bit of advice. If you want any more advice, there are loads upon loads of websites willing to give you that information if you just have a little look through on Google. So make sure you know as much about this as you can. Like I said, at some point in your future, it could help you to save someone's life.